saved from a snare. I find myself taking a nice stroll through the forest. The calming breeze and beautiful sights, all aligning with the birds and crickets singing and chirping, filling me with such joy, until I suddenly heard the sound of branches in the trees snapping in an aggressive manner. I assumed it was just an animal, so I kept walking through and enjoying the scenery. But suddenly I heard a sound of a gunshot firing out of nowhere. I then quickly ran into the bushes and trees. The gunshot fired more than once. After a few minutes, I sighed in relief. I kept walking forward a few steps until I suddenly noticed a strange green object from behind the trees. I took a closer look and found out it was a teenage male in a green hoodie and ponytail. They also seemed to have bright orange eyes, similar to the eyes of Julian and Nitty. I was horrified to find him caught in a snare or trap by the neck. His leg was broken, multiple bite marks in the arms, oozing and leaking out so much blood. He was somehow still alive, but barely. His eyes glanced at me. His breathing and heart rate was very slow. He whispered to me, "Help me." His voice was weak and sore. I approached carefully, trying not to grab any of their attention. I whispered back and asked, "Who did this to you?" I then gently placed my hands on the nose on the trap. I don't know, but please save me. As I carefully pulled the noose apart, loosening it and making it easier to breathe, he gasped in air for relief. His eyes widened as I then cut the noose, freeing him from the trap. "Oh, thank you so much. I could have died," he said after clearing his throat. I replied, "No problem." He then tried to get up, but couldn't. And right before I could grab any Medicare, the gunshot fired again. And once more. I quickly grabbed the teen and ran off into the forest. The sound of the gunshot had trees and branches along with birds screaming and flapping their wings in fear. It was terrible. My heart was pounding in disbelief. After taking a turn towards the pond, I accidentally stepped into a bear trap. I screamed in terror and accidentally giving away our location. The hunter stepped forward towards us. I yelled, "Why are you doing this?" He didn't say a single word. He just stared at us. I began to bare my teeth at him, snarling and growling. That is, until he suddenly started to aim the gun at us. But right before he could, I pulled the trigger. Julian jumped out of nowhere and pinned down the hunter. I was surprised. "Julian?" I asked after immediately calming down. He didn't answer. He was staring down at the hunter as he began to smile a haunting, bloodthirsty manner. He laughed and said, "I can just sense all the sins and crimes you committed." The hunter then begged for his life, letting go of his weapon. "Please, have mercy. I'll do anything, I swear." Julian laughed maniacally. "Oh, I don't think I will," he said, gripping tightly at the neck. I called out to him, "Do it! Kill him!" Julian nodded in response. He then stared back at the hunter. "Say your prayers." Once again, the hunter didn't say anything. And without any expectations, Julian bit down at the hunter's neck, blood spilling all over the place. The hunter screamed in terror as Julian continued to bite down and eat away at the flesh. After minutes of devouring the meat and blood of the hunter is dead. And we won. Julian calmed down as he approached us. "Are you okay?" I asked. He replied in a calm, enthusiastic manner. "Yeah, I'm okay." He noticed the green and hoodied male all next to me. "Ah, I see you found my brother Nitty, he said, wrapping his arms and legs in the bandages. I knew I'd find him in these parts of the woods. I smiled as Nitty got up. Everyone is safe and sound without any problem. They both smiled back at me. Thanks, Jules, Nitty said as he had to sat down. Julian replied, No problem, bro. It was a successful heist. A good ending with some very good friends. The end.